I was born with full spiritual power. And I awakened the strongest DPS class, Gunner. But all the teachers and students laughed at me for only lasting 3 seconds. A real man is only a gunner, they say. If you run out of ammo, even stray dogs in the village would dare to pee on you. A gunner's weapons have to be crafted by hand. It's time-consuming, laborious, and resource-draining. But I'm not worried at all, because my class skill itself is a weapon, and I've also awakened the gunner's exclusive talent.
Stage 1, Unlimited Ammo.
At level 20, you unlock Stage 2 of the exclusive talent. At this moment, I was about to invite my girlfriend to a dungeon run for some fun, to experience what true, unlimited firepower feels like. After leaving Awakening Hall 1, I hurried straight towards Awakening Hall 3. I walked into the hall and spotted her immediately, seeing Duji Yan standing beside the Awakening platform. At our academy, Duji Yan's fame is almost on par with mine. I'm famous because of my never-before-seen 100 spiritual power stat. Duji Yan, on the other hand, is known for her stunning beauty. Yes, as the academy's top genius. My girlfriend is also the campus belle, every male student's dream girl. And pieced it all together, I suddenly noticed the proud blonde youth standing next to Duji Yan. That's Yuan Ting, one of the only 2 geniuses besides me at the academy. His spiritual power is as high as 95. What does 400 spirit points mean? He actually soloed the dungeon. My firepower output never even stalls for a second. Forget monsters in their teens. Chatting warmly with Yuan Ting. When she heard the name Yanner, Duji Yan immediately turned to look at me. His dungeon clearing efficiency. She secretly glanced at Yuan Ting beside her. Looked like the eyes of demons. I licked my lips, excited, even though I was mentally prepared. But Duji Yan suddenly interrupted me. I already told you the other day. Suddenly saw the purple glow next to the boss. Even if spirit consumption per minute. As she spoke, Duji Yan pulled out her phone. 2 spirit points are consumed. And it showed a chat log between her and me. I was instantly stunned. Don't bother me again after this. Equipment in this world comes in white, green, blue, and purple. Apparently, Yuan Ting also awakened a mythic class. Every little move she made. Duji Yan was clearly unsettled by my stare. The look of surprise on my face slowly disappeared. With their own mechanics, keep firing at peak rate nonstop. But against my unlimited firepower, Yuan Ting walked out with a sullen face. Yuan Ting looked at me smugly. Her smile faded instantly, and she became a bit distant. Yanner, I'm not done talking to you. Newbies generally have 2 ways to level up. A lively figure suddenly blocked him. She flashed her phone in front of my face. Max Spirit Power Prodigy? Then pretended to casually hold it in her hand. It'll cost another point of mana. As long as you get within 5 meters of them. But still forced herself to look calm. Your life or death is your own responsibility. Do you get a shot at joining an elite guild? So, I think, because Duji Yan knows my personality very well. Deep down, I'm quite aloof. And I don't care at all about what others say about me. Excitement flashed in my eyes. They'll attack you on sight. And after making sure he saw the screenshots on her phone, was actually from 2 days ago when we were flirting with each other. With 20 Glock pistols, headed straight for the auction house. Even though I have unlimited ammo, just love to meddle. Maybe he's exploiting a bug or something. In other words, I've realized we're just not compatible. Is nothing the Grot pistols can match. Is twice that of the Grot pistols. Otherwise, I raised an eyebrow, collected my gold coins, but she intentionally trimmed it for effect. Clearly, she'd been planning this for a while. But before today's awakening, his Gatling machine guns, Duji Yan and I were still laughing and joking together, seeing it play out before my eyes. Her change happened just now. Yuan Ting nodded gloomily. So, what happened just now? Duji Yan's bright smile stiffened a bit upon hearing it. I went to the restroom alone to check my skills. I couldn't help but gasp. It's better to stay apart. I quickly left the auction house. How did he solo Twilight Forest? And mechanics are always weakest in defense. Must have quickly spread to Duji Yan, radiating a savage aura through various channels. So I awakened as a mechanist. The sound of bullets pouring out echoed across the ruins. which I can actually use. I suddenly saw a flash of purple light. Then the Minotaurs. So what class did you awaken? Can really protect a healer. That right when I was about to share. She would show such a cold and practical side instead. I didn't even want to say one more word. Even more surprising. Is that all the affection Du Jiu-yan showed me before? Holy shit, that's crazy. Was just because of my unprecedented full spiritual power. Under the peculiar gazes of the crowd. Opened up a screenshot. I really wonder. Meant I wasn't going to expose her lies? She instantly dumped me and our relationship. Besides, once my level is up, this rate of gunfire, and turned to leave, and the fact that I became a mechanist. Her rosy lips parted slightly. That huge boulder was shredded to pieces. You've got all the gear you wanted. During this time, if you awaken as a garbage class like mechanist, it doesn't mean a thing. Letting a mechanist be called a mythic class. I didn't dare waste any. That way, we won't hold each other back. A bit more spirit power never hurts. To me, it's no better than a trash roll. Yenner made the right choice picking me, and I walked into the dark forest, and his eyes lingered hungrily on her big healing staff. Fastest clear, gained 200 experience points, but dealing with the level 11 to 12 wild boars nearby. Then suddenly remembered that over the past year, a quick calculation, Minotaur King's shiny silver chestplate, light armor type, its firing rate, so purple gear is relatively more suitable. That's definitely a huge sum. Lee Haoshin? Surprised? From now on, Lee Haoshin did it solo. A trash class, huh? It's better to break up sooner rather than later. After class awakening. Name, Moses Bracelet. Unbound, type, accessory. Stats, plus 10 speed. And blue gear gives too few bonuses. The outside is swarming with monsters. After understanding the Minotaur's defense, Yuan Ting, take good care of your healer. I gave Du Jiu-yan a deep look, and put all 5 free potential points, along with the 5 basic points given, and turned away resolutely, stormed into the instance hall. So you can level up even faster. Yuan Ting watched me leave, not resisting at all. Your own exclusive dungeon. His healer had nursed me countless times. He shouted angrily, "What are you looking at?" Otherwise, Yuan Ting's expression was uncertain. But he's just a lousy mechanic. Just wait till I get the chance. Yuan Ting's phone at her waist suddenly rang. Yuan Ting's heart started to burn with resentment. I left the awakening hall. Grinding dungeons is definitely faster. He didn't bother to say anything else. As long as you don't go too far. You think Master Li needs your 100 gold coins? Enough for 2 more tickets. And run off to heal for him instead. If all the materials from the dungeon, there are way too many rookies grinding outside. As for the second method, surrounded by my 10 grot pistols. If you don't have a guild backing you, a bunch of country bumpkins, nothing better to do. You can form teams freely. Gritted my teeth and handed over 100 gold coins. I want a ticket to Dark Forest. I won't need a healer anymore. 100 gold coins is everything I have right now. At this moment, but also pretty useful. The staff member shook his head, amused. Over the past year, she replied flatly, and this kind of purple gear. As an orphan, are mine alone. Then I can still earn back the ticket price. 2 flashes of blue light later, but purple items only drop from dungeon bosses. Noticing all those envious and jealous looks, I noticed all of it, because cloth armor gives the most spirit power. A level 10 trashy mechanist trying to solo Dark Forest. And it's one of the stronger mythic classes Night Stalker. I stared intently at Du Jiu-yan to watch for new gear, and gave me a look like I was an idiot. Get out, only 100 gold, and you have the nerve to ask. After all, artifact level pink gear is too expensive. Whether you can clear it is none of his business. Green gear and various materials I found in the dungeon. He didn't even have time to take a step. As my vision blurred for a second, I've got no doubts anymore. All barrels lined up, aimed forward. I took a deep breath. She finally put it away. Any newly minted professional in the Eastern Dragon Empire. Who are you looking down on? How did this guy get out so fast? Did he find some trick to clearing the instance? Wandering in the dark woods. Those were the Minotaur monsters in the Dark Forest. The 2 elite Minotaurs dropped 2 blue items. Of course, if they're attacked first. even outside that range, to control all the superpowered weapons they create. He's just a newly advanced mechanic. To whoever attacked them, a piece of armor landed beside the Minotaur King's corpse. To bring them along, my gaze sharpened. It barely managed 3 steps toward me. I can't pull too many monsters at once. When I awakened earlier, I already heard the people around gossiping. The forest was dimly lit. After getting to level 15, I'll still be in serious trouble. With a flash of white light, I instantly recalled all the relevant knowledge I'd learned before. Then you can participate in the college selection. A Max-Lvl grot pistol. Only a powerful night stalker like me scanned the surroundings with my gaze. I gave a mocking smile. Holy crap, he exclaimed in shock. To extend the weapon's duration, with a single thought, cleared in 21 minutes and 21 seconds by Lee Haoshan. Her expression changed. In disbelief, she said, "What did you say?" The pistol quickly left my palm. Lee Haoshan must have found some bug exploit trick. At that moment, super control. I gave it a thought. Even monsters in their 20s and 30s can't handle it. From 200 to 199. Can exist in the real world. When I saw those words, when the timer's up, would just unlock an automatic rifle or something? A special talent only inherent to mechanics with max spirit power. It should go for a few hundred coins at the auction house. In just a blink, bang bang, with scattered trees here and there. Yeah, that's pretty dramatic, honestly. Suffer firepower drop-off or barrel overheating. Blood suddenly sprayed from the Minotaur's body. Du Jiyu Yan sneakily glanced at Yuan Ting beside her, and then locked onto a huge boulder nearby. It only took 10 minutes. Now that Lee Haoshan's genius aura is gone. But if my talent allows me to discover dungeons, with the unlimited ammo talent activated, menacingly staring forward, killed a Minotaur, gained 10 experience points. A sudden kill notification popped up before my eyes, and I trembled with excitement. That's awesome. As far as funds go, the boss's defense was twice that of the elites. One of the 2 best superpower academies. I saw him buy a ticket with my own eyes. And estimating my attack power, Mechanist Mage class can only wear leather armor, but also earns me a ton. Just thinking about it, and reach the very depths of the dark forest. And I ended up as the most useless mechanist among mythic classes. A good distance between myself and the Minotaurs was pacing back and forth. I looked up. Competing for mobs is just plain annoying. Even excluding accessories, that's nearly 200 gold coins. Unless you get within 5 meters. Can reach an astounding 1,000 rounds per minute or more. And all 10 grot pistols unleashed a bullet storm. The Minotaur had just turned around. My mana also dropped by 1. I splurged a fortune. Once you enter the dungeon, all the elites did. They won't attack proactively. The reason she decisively kicked me out and joined Yuan Ting earlier. That's twice what normal Minotaurs give. I have absolutely no interest in trying to win her back. Dark Rexy has higher defense and attack. And looked over at the skills section. This is how a mechanist should really play. 2 elites. They will transfer aggro, then headed for the dungeon teleportation hall, cuddling Dujiyu Yan's slender waist. The chair behind him fell to the ground. At this firepower level, my eyes lit up. A piece of armor, with my unlimited firepower. A Minotaur over 3 meters tall. Ting replied impatiently. The maximum number of people allowed in a dungeon is 4. The noisy exclamation startled him, delighted at my luck. Along the way, I ran into 2 elite Minotaurs. I didn't hesitate at all. A mechanist can use their mind. I curled my lip, killed Minotaur King, gained 50 experience points. But the firepower is also twice as much as the grot pistols. A shower of debris sprayed up instantly. You can just buy a dungeon ticket at the teleportation hall. No way, that's impossible. I shook my head lightly, before collapsing with a thud. Cleared dark forest, gained 100 experience points. He's already level 12. 500 gold coins. Congratulations, you leveled up to level 11. Damn, I just leveled up. I quickly opened the class screen. Was listed just recently, right? Du Jiyu Yan lifted her chin slightly. We all know how it really performs. Looked over again in disbelief. A normal dungeon actually dropped a purple item. Looked confused for a second. Master, how did you exploit the bug? If I looked closely, walked away. He earned over 1,200 gold coins in total. Saying that, Yuan Ting wrapped his arm around Du Jiu Yan's slim waist. It's better to level up steadily step by step. My god, could this be? Now I've got well over 400 spirit points. I can fire super weapons endlessly. Makes me not want to waste any time. I also got a Minotaur hide leather belt. From the look on his face. Are you sure? I asked slowly. And bought a full set of green gear including accessories. Otherwise, if I get surrounded by these Minotaurs. At 11 o'clock, all the monsters in the dungeon were cleared. Loot. A newly awakened mechanic like him. Lately, a lot of new professionals have awakened. He picked up the call. This is a passive skill that all mechanists have. Alright, got it. Just then, a sudden flash of purple appeared before my eyes. I cut my way deeper into the dark forest. The regular mobs dropped around 20 green items. Did he get a blue item? He turned to glance at the dark forest nearby. These materials might still be useful for regular mechanics.
He could run dungeons with me non-stop these 3 days.
But they're completely useless to me. Thinking this, I didn't hesitate. The Dark Rexy boss, over 4 meters long. And the dungeon ticket only costs 100. I immediately activate the teleport crystal. For a person like her, and headed back toward the dungeon teleport lobby. Unlimited firepower. Back to the dungeon lobby in 3 seconds. Where's your so-called skill? Immediately open the stats panel. He rubbed his eyes hard. Even the staff at the dungeon teleport hall. I didn't expect. 3 seconds later. Congratulations on setting a new record for Dark Forest. And that was a 4-person party run. Before you can encounter him, she knows that although I may seem easygoing on the outside. Then I walked out looking totally excited. Target. Auction house.
He quickly started calculating in his mind.
Just pushed him aside. Now I understood why Du Jiu Yan was acting like this. Exclaiming in shock, the kid found some bug exploit? Meanwhile, I entered the auction house. The staff noticed the look on my face. One day she find an even stronger party member. Yuan Ting's eyes widened. When the teller saw the brilliant silver armor from the Minotaur King I took out, he showed a surprised look. First, they were stunned. Requires you to kill more than 10 regular Minotaurs. After just a few seconds, I made sure to keep. Ding! Congratulations! You've reached level 15. Outside the city, Yuan Ting lay smugly half-reclined in the shade. Du Jiu Yin's eyes grew brighter as she spoke. A mechanic who just changed jobs. How could they possibly? Only fools believe that. I only managed to save up this money by scrimping and saving. But at that moment, is always the top choice. Firepower's more than enough now. Sure enough, soloing dungeons and keeping all the EXP is fast. As far as I'm concerned, suddenly stood up. You gotta realize the previous fastest clear record. And turned to powder. They could get some value out of them. Someone soloed the Dark Forest and even broke the record. The Dark Forest is a beginner dungeon. He just couldn't figure it out. Kid, you've got some luck. Dropped beside the Minotaur King. After clearing out all my dungeon loot. All out at once. But with unlimited ammo on the Glocks. The news of his solo dungeon speedrun got spread. But it's never cheap. No need for that smile. Not to mention it looks cheap in comparison. Not only can I boost defense, efficiency, even if I found some exploit, was to use the Yuan family's power to level up fast. The Minotaur King's brilliant silver armor. The teller shot me a look, impressed at my business sense. What's the market price for this? The last one was just bought by someone else. I left those words coldly behind, holding the money. Now, my spirit power is up to 300. Du Jiu Yan's mouth slightly opened. On the other side of the auction house, market price is 500 gold coins. Much more profitable. He pulled out his phone and made a call. The low-level mobs near the city. Let's go to the instance teleport hall. My mana is now at 210. I paused, thinking it over, and asked again. The last Minotaur King's brilliant silver armor. The whole dungeon includes a boss. Life is always full of drama. The teller nodded. How did he clear it in under half an hour? Hearing everyone's speculation, almost snapping off, near a campfire up ahead. And he's just a newly converted mechanic. She shot to her feet. But your individual level can't be more than 5 levels above the dungeon. That's right, it was bought within 2 days of being listed. Hey, Boss Yuan. I walked up to the ticket counter and entered Thunder Ruins one more time. You can unlock another new skill. I only thought for a second, and decisively said, list it for 600 gold coins. Even accounting for party XP sharing. When did so many people gather around all of a sudden? Hearing my question, do you know who listed that last Minotaur King's armor? My brows instantly raised. Duji Yoyan. Below the shining silver grot pistol, I appeared at the entrance to a sparse forest. To speed things up, for those big spending family heirs, those tough, high-level abyss dungeons, the auction house buys out regular items directly. I can summon and use 20 Gatling rotating machine guns at the same time. Give me the gear. So stop thinking about shortcuts. A young man with triangular eyes watched me leave, eyes glinting. After reaching a higher level, I didn't exploit a bug. She watched the security guards sent by the family fighting monsters. None of the security guards are that high level. No, Boss Yuan. I just followed Li Haoshan to the dungeon teleport lobby. I heard my friend say he awakened as a mechanic. They're still way faster than soloing. And saw it was from the lackey he posted at the auction house. Skill description. Summon the Gatling rotating machine gun. Hello, Yuan Ting answered brashly, and handed the faintly purple glowing armor to the teller, which makes 8 tickets 960 gold. Appeared in my hand. She said eagerly, bring it to me right away. Boss Yuan, who listed it? The lackey spoke in that same disbelieving tone. Is even more brutal than my current 20 grot pistols. On the display panel above the Twilight Forest teleport entrance, 2 blue items dropped beside the dark Rakesy boss. Quickly headed that way. I saw it with my own eyes, including that Minotaur King's armor. Du Ji Yo Yan showed a hint of embarrassment. Wait, hold on. And as a way to farm gear and make money. Wan Ting frowned. Someone was actually willing to party up with him for a dungeon run, compared to monsters in the wild. And as for high-level dungeons, then teleport into the Twilight Forest. Could it be he didn't party up with anyone? 20 Gatling guns. Say it to me again properly. That speed's like riding a rocket. As soon as I came out, Li Haoshan didn't team up with anyone, even as the one who caused it. Take that Minotaur. Just as I was about to step out the door. Even if he makes a super weapon, display it above. What the hell is this? He's still soloing. What on earth is going on? I wouldn't even glance anymore. You keep a close eye on him for me, I asked with some anticipation. First is making your own party and hunting wild monsters for XP, sometimes squeezing her plump thighs. If Li Haoshan really solo clears the instance. If Li Haoshan actually clears the instance. If only he'd agree to carry you once through the dungeon. Let me know the moment he comes out. They're still way more efficient. The EXP is much higher. The staff member froze. Li Haoshan brought out a bunch of materials to sell. The EXP would be just enough to reach level 12. No need to reload magazines. Du Gayan next to him also overheard their conversation, with a look of shock on her face as well.
Damn.
Class, Holy Priest. Direct teleportation to an instance suited to your level. After listing my purple gear, more than 20 minutes later, don't stand a chance. Yuan Ting's phone rang again. Rat dash tat dash tat dash tat dash tat. I grinned. Her face was full of disappointment and embarrassment. Wan Ting asked through gritted teeth. Damn, brother Yuan, that kid came out. This is actually good for both of us. Directly into Mena. 22 minutes and 36 seconds. That kid even broke the speedrun record. Yuan Ting's pupils instantly contracted. I could learn his bug exploit. Little Li Tianhao couldn't help but twitch his mouth. What? 22 minutes? He broke the record solo? Instantly swept through the area. That kid has already entered the new instance, Thunder Ruins. Saw the updated information above. It's impossible to solo the Dark Forest. The lackey's voice suddenly turned to shock. Another purple gear just dropped. Du Gayan covered her mouth in astonishment. Thunder Ruins. No wonder it's familiar. While everyone outside was. But sluggish monsters like these. After my class awakening, add the instance clear rewards on top of that. I still have to keep alert. He can take all the experience from the monsters for himself to cut through the forest paths. But complaints aside, how could he solo the Dark Forest? Super weapons still require gathering materials and crafting them yourself. She knew the fact that I asked her. A new message suddenly appeared. Plus, there's the instance bonus. Each Minotaur was spaced some distance from the others. Gave the onlookers a vicious glare. How could he possibly solo the instance? Yuan Ting looked unconvinced. Gritting his teeth suspiciously, he immediately spotted the Thunder Ruins portal. The triangle-eyed young man nearby. The information screen overhead. But they move even slower than Minotaurs. Displayed a glaring red line of text. And my name was right there. Yuan Ting suddenly froze mid-sentence. The commotion had already drawn a lot of attention. When everyone saw, and cleared them solo quickly, and used the grot pistol skill. Seriously, that's just awesome. 25 minutes 12 seconds cleared by Li Haoshan, and walked toward the teleportation gate nearby. Even soloing the instance, I only got 60 EXP. Even though, as a leather specialist wearing cloth armor, the Thunder Moses leader collapsed again with a loud bang. The new clear record for the Dark Forest. There was an uproar. I'm now really confident in my firepower. But when she learned Yuan Ting awakened as a Night Stalker, on the counter, before collapsing under my barrage of fire, they're all professionals around level 18 or 19. A wave of exclamations and discussion. And you'll get dungeon clear experience rewards. Crushed the teleport crystal. How did they even do that? Did he find something valuable? Damn, Dujiu Yan's eyes showed regret. Why does that name sound so familiar? I knew. What I need most now is to stack up spirit points. Isn't he the legendary? Hearing Yuan Ting's blunt order. Even if mechanic is considered an S-tier class, Yuan Ting's eyes lit up. Easy profit. Besides that, how could a newly advanced, trashy mechanic? Du Jiuyan looked radiant. But then suddenly, Yuan Ting frowned. There hadn't been any problems at all between us. Too bad I can't use light armor. He mocked me before. I definitely wouldn't share it with him, heatedly debating how I exploited the bug. Thunder Ruins is a level 13 instance. Whoa, just what I needed, leather armor, no less. Du Jiuyan responded with a bashful smile. And 47 regular Minotaurs. After soloing the Dark Forest twice, makes my defense ridiculously low. Even if they hear gunfire, with spirit points boosted by gear, and found 2 classes under level 15. Not at all. Feeling satisfied, I put the Gatling guns away. Exited the class panel. Even using all 20 Glocks at once. Thunder Ruins has 30 more monsters than Dark Forest. And started gathering materials fast. Kid, you really know how to seize the opportunity. For a total of 80, kill over 10 Minotaurs in 10 minutes. My eyes instantly lit up. Those tough-skinned Dark Rakesy. Leveling really gets harder and harder. The previously relaxed mood was long gone. I'm the recognized campus beauty at Kingshan Academy. The cloth armor alone cost me more than 10 gold coins. So I put it on right away. And the drop rate is just 10. It's just asking for trouble. Bang, 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 bang. Was a whole hour.
Bang, bang.
Uses 6 147mm caliber barrels arranged in a circle. I can just sell them all for gold coins. None of my business. And its density of firepower. Dark Rakesy horns and hides. In just 2 seconds. On that enormous, 2-men tall stone. The staff member was totally confused. So no one will compete with you for the stages. Even the majestic horn on its forehead. I just managed to buy the lost light armor. Even if Du Jiuyan's holy priest is just a frontline class. I could make out several giant creatures over 2 meters tall. If he solo clears it twice. Was blown full of dents by me. After a moment, he gave instructions over the phone. The first elite Minotaur in the Twilight Forest. I picked it up to look. I walked over for a look. Please tell me, holy priest. 10 grot pistols appeared in front of me. And get gear. Pretty much top tier for blue gear. I'll put it on for now. Even if my firepower is lacking. So I can just sell it at the auction house later. All 20 Gatlings opened fire at once. But the downside is, then I quickly made my way back, while squeezing through the crowd towards the auction house. Watch out. It showed the latest clear time for the Dark Forest. Without hesitation, tapped open the last talent column. Are way more valuable than Minotaur drops. Help but complain in my heart. Everyone misunderstood. That's impossible. After cleaning up the battlefield, that kid's still inside the instance. The Minotaur would drop dead like a sieve. I looked at my EXP bar and sighed in regret. Anyway, blue gear isn't bound when equipped. Whatever, at least I'm not short on entrance fees. My finances have always been tight. Is it really him? And exited the instance.
Is out.
21 minutes. He even found the speedrun strat for Thunder Ruins. And junk gear. Dujio Yang could run dungeons with me. He can sense the instant strat? I instinctively glanced up at Thunder Ruins. Under the envious gaze of others. Thunder Ruins' fastest clearance record. With a single thought, Yuan Ting together with Du Gaiyan and several security guards. And got more mana. It'll end up in my hands anyway. But just as I was calling out to her, making sure the screen was turned toward Yuan Ting instead, dumping everything I was about to sell, minus the auction house fee, I earned another 223 gold coins. I instantly understood what happened. Xingyu Academy and Beta Academy. I'll pay 100 gold coins to buy it. With this rate of increase. Didn't expect it to be a Gatling? Really solo an instance? Hey Ocean, can you take your little sister through a few runs? Seeing the final boss. That screenshot. Master, please carry me. I'm from the Heinai family's profession. Not only can I heal wounds, are actually great for beginners to practice on. Watching her twisting her waist so enthusiastically, as if she wanted to wriggle her blue hair out like water, plus a pile of teeth, leather, and refined iron fragments. I agree with what you said earlier. I solo cleared it by skill. I took the ticket. Discontent showed in people's eyes. I sincerely advised everyone. It means that in 10 minutes, then exchange them for gold and keep farming EXP. I emphasized the hold back part.
10 minutes.
Next time there's danger. But time is precious. But in the torrential rain of bullets, I was still pushing forward crazily in Thunder Ruins. Looking at my back, who did you say listed it? Dungeon bugs weren't unheard of before, including that hidden talent.
Damn.
But whoever discovers a bug never reveals it.
But me.
You're just a rookie mechanic who recently switched jobs. Luckily, the dungeon monsters have their own aggro system. Instead, they use it for their own dungeon runs, with unlimited firepower on hand, high attack and defense. As for Li Haoshan saying he soloed by skill, he quickly suppressed the embarrassment, replaced by a slight excitement, watching me walk into the auction house nearby. The experience needed to level up started growing rapidly. I just heard someone mention it earlier, because they provide blueprints. From now on, yes, Brother Yuan, Yuan Ting hung up the phone, and kept summoning more grot pistols. I sold off the rest of the blue gear. Du Jiu Yan actually felt relieved. Damn, I thought level 15. Which means, hey Ocean, I was just joking with you earlier. Nor would she follow the initial plan. Let's make up. That's always been their biggest flaw. Looks like you're the most talented student there. I awakened as a holy priest. Among support classes I'm top tier. It's practically destined by heaven. Listening to her self-praise, I showed a mocking smile. Li Haoshan, a newly awakened mechanic. He went into the dungeon alone. Regular players without much backing. Our personalities just don't match. But luckily I'm soloing. I bought 8 Thunder Ruins entry tickets in one go. That way we won't hold each other back. After speaking, I didn't even look at Du Jiu Yan. I'll offer 1,000 gold coins, even if she switched to a top-tier support, and plus 14 mana. Immediately summoned 20 all-black Gatlings. Do I even need defense anymore? Also claimed the gold for the Minotaur King armor that Yuan Ting sniped. Once the fake persona is torn away, this grot pistol, and quietly floated in front of me. You're blocking my way, as if it were true, and collapsed with a crash. Even if EXP had to be split, keeping a potential threat like that around. Besides, with only 2 running dungeons, he won't need any support class at all. But tickets stay the same price. He'll have access to all kinds of defensive super weapons. It's extremely hard for others to even hurt him. Everyone always says we're a perfect match. Twilight Forest fastest clear record. Why need healing? You want to challenge me or what? Li Haoshan? And smiled, saying a bunch of newly awakened professionals have appeared lately. But seeing Yuan Ting in all purple gear and a phantom god class, they really didn't dare provoke him. The staff took them. Are perfect for showcasing my abilities. No matter how useful, it's still uncomfortable. Kids from normal families really wouldn't risk offending him. The lackey suddenly lowered his voice. The teller quickly checked. The show's over. Let out a furious howl. All of it. But I can heal injuries too. Everyone showed a disappointed, as expected look. His expression turned instantly dark. It was Lee Haoshin.
10 minutes later.
Will she betray again at the critical moment? So the spectators didn't see much point in staying. All scattered like birds and beasts, to reach level 20 within 3 days. After everyone left, then, turns out, Wan Ting looked at the auction house with jealousy. Wan Ting was completely stunned. Then solo clears alone. Would be slower than constantly farming mobs outside. And said resentfully, such a pity. We're over. And give me 20 experience points each. Yuan Ting didn't know. You actually got that thing to drop? If I had really decided to take him back just now, Du Ji Yu Yam would have acted for real. What right do you have to act so cocky? She'd have stuck with me. She wouldn't return to Yuan Ting's side. Now he needs to process some materials and reveal the bug exploit to Yuan Ting, plus 40 spirit points, so she could stand out at the college selection in 3 days. And my eyes lit up. He'll need to clear Thunder Ruins 8 times straight. That poor kid Lee Haoshin still didn't take the bait. And compete for entry to Donglong Empire. I didn't use these coins to buy any gear. The rewards inside offset the ticket cost. For every minute the Gatling rotating machine gun exists.
He's out.
That means Yuan Ting couldn't help but mutter to himself. His figure reappeared in the dungeon lobby. Meanwhile, I grumbled internally about exploiting bugs with dungeon level limits. At the same time, he has no pressure at all. Even if the Yuan family wanted to, an experience gets split even more. About 20 meters away before focusing fire. Soloing dungeons 2 or 3 times reaches level 12 quickly. Sold all materials collected from the last 2 dungeon runs. He was determined. The monsters inside are dark rakesy. He quickly summoned 20 grot pistols. Because at level 20 you unlock the second stage of talents. I'll have a 100% chance of success. That's right, I've been watching. He hasn't come out yet. Most likely wants to get into those top 2 academies. Sat up straight and asked again. Because only by entering these top-tier schools, soloing not only levels me up like crazy, just to reach level 15. Otherwise, they're all basically controlled by various elite guilds. For 1 minute. Large-scale faction battles. Crash. So what should I do now? Rotating machine guns. Thought for a moment. Even international kill zones. You'll easily end up as cannon fodder, back in the dungeon lobby. As my level increased, combined, I did a quick calculation. Being a straight-A student, as long as you pay for the ticket, plus 20 spirit power. If needed, I'll just run it a few more times. I shook my head in disappointment, then subconsciously glanced at the nearby clock. And as dungeon levels rise, it wouldn't be much faster than regular teams. Crushing his way toward the boss area. Once you step out of the city's protection, that's just asking to die. Who knows what kind of woman this is? Leveling speed would be through the roof. But thinking of my solo dungeon experience and rewards, ticket prices climbed too. Paused for a moment. Plus superpowered weapons never. Hanai family, with all those fish scales on you, there are some things I simply won't bother to explain. Shadow Forest tickets are only 100 gold coins. Lee Haoshin isn't telling his bug exploit either. A newly converted mechanic. Thunder Ruins costs 120 gold coins. 4 is just right for light armor classes. All dungeon loot belongs entirely to him. I'm calling to report something. From afternoon to evening, no matter how talented you are, Yuan Ting's eyes lit up. That's over 20,000 rounds per minute. Gear is split between just the 2. The Gatling rotating machine gun. Yeah, that's got to be it. I tirelessly went in and out of Thunder Ruins. Had gotten used to seeing me. I don't know how much time passed.
Damn.
But I used up my last ticket. Surrounding himself completely. Is gonna skyrocket. My eyes flashed with fanatic excitement. And then moved forward steadily. I started to relax. Went straight to the dungeon hall. With one last round of frenzied fire. Lines of black barrels. Its HP dropped to 0. Right after every awakening event. I smiled with sarcasm. Gives plus 14 strength. I can still keep it up for 15 minutes. Although, I arrived at the auction house after writing my name and ID number. Seeing this sudden upgrade notice, my good news with Dujiu Yan. The so-called bug was just the 2 tickets I bought earlier now used up. Didn't even bother checking the loot. What those stubborn old-timers at the guild were thinking? I told you I don't care. Wearing bright silver armor, her gaze flickered for a moment. I asked again. Plus, you'll gain 2 more skills. I don't even need to list those anymore. Isn't that the instance that requires level 12 to enter? The monsters in the Dark Forest are at least level 10, because at level 15, it'd still be much faster than farming mobs with Yuan Ting. The sound of gunfire erupted instantly. On my way back, I swept through everything. Floated a black weapon, several times larger, a superpowered weapon. Skill, Gatling rotating machine gun. 10 points of spirit increased by 40. Wow, it's actually a bracelet. It's just right for me to use. I nodded in satisfaction. One immediately equipped this gear. Exited the instance. Just like before. Sold the unusable materials and equipment. Made over 2,500 gold coins. Only then did I leave completely satisfied. Went back to sleep. The sky had just started to brighten the next day. I couldn't wait and rushed to the instance teleport hall. But what I didn't expect was Yuan Ting and De Guyan were also here. And besides them, there were 2 security guards standing behind Yuan Ting. When Yuan Ting saw me, her expression changed slightly. I've already reached level 15. I'm in a great mood. Seeing these 2, I suddenly remembered what Yuan Ting mocked me with yesterday. My eyes flickered. Then I walked over to them. Yo, isn't this the powerful young master of the Night Stalker clan? Why aren't you out stealing world monsters today? Are you planning to farm the instance now too? I said sarcastically. Next to me, Dogu looked at me with a complicated expression. He was feeling very upset inside. Because when I came over just now, I didn't even glance at him from start to finish. As if he was just a bystander. Not even worth a second look. Yuan Ting's face turned ugly. Li Heoshan, don't get cocky. You just got lucky, like a blind cat catching a dead mouse. Found an instance bug exploit, huh? You can only get by in the Thunder Ruins anyway. With your trash class, you'll always be nothing but mediocre. Oh yeah, let's just wait and see. I chuckled. Walked nonchalantly toward the ticket counter. Seeing the smug look on my face, Yuan Ting let out an angry snort and walked toward the Thunder Ruins. After grinding wild monsters all day yesterday, his level finally reached 13. Today, he specifically brought 2 level 15 security guards, planning to try out the Thunder Ruins. He just doesn't believe Li Heoshan could find the instance bug. With such a powerful Night Stalker, he has to be able to find the instance bug too. With such a powerful Night Stalker, he can't possibly miss it. And it's not just him. Today, several other groups of level 12 players have teamed up and gone in too. Everyone is hoping for a bit of luck, trying to find a bug to clear Thunder Ruins quickly. I went to the ticket window, took out 700 gold coins, and handed them to the ticket clerk. 5 admission tickets for Gillette Canyon, please. Gillette is a higher level dungeon. Naturally, tickets cost more. 140 gold per ticket. The ticket clerk, who was the same one that saw me solo instances like crazy yesterday, looked at my handsome face, almost numb from it. Thunder Ruins admission tickets. 5, right? What did you say? Gillette Canyon. Because I spent most of yesterday farming Thunder Ruins. The ticket clerk subconsciously thought I'd want to do the same again. But halfway through his words, he suddenly realized and couldn't help but exclaim loudly, Gillette Canyon. That's a level 15 only dungeon. He already made it to level 15? What the hell? How does he level up so fast? As the ticket clerk exclaimed, many people in the hall were drawn over by the commotion. Yuan Ting had just gotten ready to activate her entry ticket. When she heard the words Gillette Canyon, her whole body instantly stiffened. She turned around to look over here. I smiled faintly. That's right, 5 tickets for Gillette Canyon. I took the tickets from the dazed ticket clerk, took the Gillette Canyon entry tickets, and headed for the teleport area. Gillette Canyon's difficulty is a notch above Thunder Ruins. The teleportation area is right next to Thunder Ruins. When I passed by Yuan Ting, I winked at her and grinned. Powerful young Master Yuan. If you keep being slow, maybe. I'll even find the bug in Gillette Canyon soon. When Yuan Ting heard my mocking tone, her face turned beet red with anger. Finished roasting them. Her face turned beet red with anger. Finished roasting them. I walked into the Gillette Canyon teleport area, laughing loudly. In a flash, I disappeared from sight. Seeing me teleport solo into Gillette Canyon again, many people in the instance hall stopped their steps to enter the dungeon and gathered over here instead. Damn, he's going in alone again. Sigh. You guys think he can bug the dungeon again this time? Come on, if he wasn't sure, would he go in there alone? That's suicide. I'm so jealous. So this is the real value of Max Spirit. That's just insane. I've never heard of any mechanic leveling up this fast. Not to mention just mechanics. He's probably the fastest leveler out of all classes in the early game. He hit level 15 in just one day. That's freaking brutal. The crowd started buzzing with conversation. The previously quiet instance teleport hall instantly became lively. Yuan Ting clenched her fist tightly. Gritting her teeth, Gillette Canyon's layout is simple. There are a total of 150 monsters, which is nearly double the Thunder Ruins. Plus, the monsters are packed pretty close together. With an environment like this, damn it, I just don't believe that a low-tier mechanic like him can keep exploiting bugs. With that, Yuan Ting simply sat down nearby, not taking her eyes off the Gillette Canyon teleport area. She's waiting for that lucky, pretentious kid to fail, so she can roast him back hard. Otherwise, she just can't swallow this resentment. Dogu Yan stared blankly at the now empty Gillette Canyon teleport area, with a wave of bitterness in her heart. After all, we spent a year together, so she knew what kind of person I am if I wasn't absolutely confident. There's no way I'd go into an instance alone for the hell of it. So she's sure. I'm completely confident in solo clearing the dungeon. Dogu Yan felt a heartache so painful she could hardly breathe. If she hadn't broken up with me yesterday, maybe she'd be level 14 today. Then, after another day of grinding dungeons, even splitting XP, she'd definitely hit 15. But now he's already level 15, while she's only just 13. Don't look down on just a 2-level gap. Because actually, the EXP difference is probably double that of going from 10 to 13. Such deep regret. Gillette Canyon entrance. The air was slightly distorted. My figure appeared quietly. This is a huge canyon entrance, with only a 10-meter wide passage in the middle, leading straight into the canyon depths. The entire canyon is a brownish yellow, with towering cliffs on both sides. The terrain is very treacherous. And along the central road, there are groups of hunched figures packed densely together. Frost goblins with ashen skin and fierce faces, small and sinister looking. Some of these goblins wield spears. Others hold magic staffs. They form teams of 3, marching back and forth in military drills through Grat Canyon. Unlike the Minotaur Thunder Moses, the Frost Goblins in Grat are much more intelligent than the previous 2 types. There's clearly coordination here. Level 15 class adventurers have already unlocked their 2nd class skill. Their combat power has greatly increased. That's why this dungeon, only accessible at level 15, is much more difficult than any before it. But in my eyes, the challenge of this dungeon actually went down significantly. He stared at the Frost Goblins in front of him, his eyes sparkling with excitement. He gently licked his lips. Look at those skinny arms and legs. They're clearly fragile. I murmured in a low voice and started casting skills. Gatling spin technique. Rotating machine gun. A massive machine gun over 2 meters long instantly appeared above my head. 6 terrifying black barrels radiated murderous intent. Looking at my stats panel, I saw 2 spirit points deducted. I grinned widely. Just a drop in the bucket. The next moment, under my command, Gatling rotating machine guns quickly appeared one after another, almost burying me completely with that new epic gear from before. My current spirit value has already surpassed 400, which means even if I summoned 20 Gatling rotating machine guns, I could still last a full 10 minutes. Maybe because so many dark barrels were aimed at the entrance. Several groups of frost goblins in the distance seemed to sense danger suddenly. They all turned their gazes toward me. I chuckled slyly, bent down, and then stomped my right foot hard on the ground, rushing straight into the canyon. At the same time, in front of him, a dense array of Gatling machine guns opened fire all at once. Rat-a-tat-tat! The sharp whistling of ammo firing from the chambers instantly echoed across the land, thanks to my unlimited ammo trait. I don't need to worry about running out of bullets at all. The hail of bullets was like countless fences, ravaging the ground with wild abandon. Unlike the Grot pistol, the Gatling rotary machine gun's effective range reaches a full kilometer. I didn't even need to look, as 20 machine guns poured out waves of ammo. Every frost goblin within a kilometer ahead was instantly shredded into spiritual fragments. It only took about 5 minutes for me to dash straight to the boss chamber of the Frost Goblin King. I didn't even get a good look at the boss's appearance before the bullet storm had already turned the boss to spiritual fragments and scattered it away. Notification after notification popped up over and over. Defeated the Frost Goblin King for 100 points and earned 100 experience points. Cleared Grat Canyon for 300 EXP. Set a new fastest clear time for Grat Canyon. Gained 500 experience points. I stopped in my tracks and took a slight breath. A look of exhilaration flashed in my eyes. That was awesome. That was fucking satisfying. Now this is what being a mechanist is all about. True firepower rules the battlefield. A mechanist who can take on 100 at once. My heart burned with excitement. I immediately began sweeping the battlefield, collecting the materials and gear dropped by the monsters, then exited the dungeon. Outside, the crowd was still chatting and spectating. Suddenly, they noticed the teleport area of Grat Canyon, lighting up with a flash of white light. They subconsciously glanced over, about to look away again, because ever since I entered the dungeon, it's only been 15 minutes total. Everyone knew Grat Canyon's difficulty is much higher than Thunder Ruins. Even when I speedrun Thunder Ruins before, it still took me over 20 minutes each time. Clearing the much tougher Grat Canyon, even if he could find the dungeon, should take at least half an hour, right? But when they set their eyes on the person who appeared, the area suddenly went dead silent. Li Haoshan? How did he already come out? Did he fail some bug exploit? Everyone's eyes were filled with shock. But then on the display board above Grat Canyon, a message instantly popped up, putting an end to their wild speculations and sending everyone back into stunned silence. Grat Canyon fastest completion record. 15 minutes and 21 seconds completed by. Li Haoshan stared at that bright red line of text, and the crowd first went silent, then exploded in an uproar. What the fuck? Am I seeing this right? 15 minutes solo clear of Grat Canyon? Holy crap! Is this kid the Frost Goblin Prince or what? Wan Ting was completely shaken, her eyes staring blankly at the display above the dungeon, like she'd just seen a ghost, while Dogu Yan's jaw dropped even further, looking like he'd just seen a ghost. Dugan's jaw dropped wide open. You could even see the uvula in his throat. It was crystal clear. He was completely stunned, even though he thought I could solo clear it Canyon. He never imagined I could speedrun it in such a short time. That's 150 monsters after all, and that includes 5 elite monsters and 1 boss. Did Li Haoshan just rush straight to the boss area? Did he not bother looting or collecting rewards? Isn't this definitely a glitch exploit? But it must be a bug in the dungeon. Dugan wasn't the only one with this idea. In the crowd nearby, several people's eyes started to light up. A few decisive types directly dashed to the ticket counter and quickly bought an entrance ticket to Clear It Canyon, then immediately headed for the teleportation area. Not even bothering with forming a party, they vanished into Clear It Canyon. Wan Ting finally snapped out of it. She stared at me in utter disbelief, fixating her gaze on me for quite a while, seeing that I didn't hesitate, and activated another entrance ticket right away.
Disappearing into the Clear It Canyon teleportation area again.
She couldn't sit still any longer. She yanked Du Gayan with her and stormed toward the ticket window, gritting her teeth. One of the security guards nearby watched blankly as the young master bought another ticket and headed toward Clear It Canyon. After hesitating for a moment, he spoke up. Young master, what are you doing? Of course I'm going to Clear It Canyon to try as well. Didn't you see everyone else has already teleported in? Wan Ting replied through clenched teeth. The security guard was even more confused. But young master, those people already reached level 15 a long time ago. But you're only level 13. Yuan Ting stopped in her tracks. Her body tensed up slightly. Damn, I almost forgot about that. I'm really losing my head because of that kid. King cursed it inwardly, embarrassed. At the same time, she turned around and headed toward Thunder Ruins. I'll grind after an hour. Yuan Ting returned with a sullen expression, bringing Du Gayan and 2 security guards along, back to the dungeon teleportation hall, with 2 level 15 security guards helping clear mobs. Yuan Ting's crew obviously weren't slow in the dungeon, but the reason they took a whole hour was mainly because Yuan Ting wouldn't give up, spending a lot of time inside, trying every possible trick, hoping to discover how I was exploiting bugs. The result was obvious. My bug was honestly self-explanatory. My bug was simply innate to me, unless Yuan Ting dragged me in for a run together. Otherwise, no way could she figure out my bug cheat no matter what. When Yuan Ting came out, she overheard the crowd. I had already entered Clear Canyon for the 5th time. My bug running was through the roof. At this point, even if Yuan Ting still looked down on my mechanic class, she had to admit, my maxed out spirit power of 100 did indeed give me some kind of unique talent. At least when it came to clearing dungeons, she was left in the dust. Thinking about this, Yuan Ting, who considered herself quite talented, fumed with frustration, tugged Du Gayan away and walked out. Since there's no way to power level in dungeons, leveling up will still have to happen by farming in the wild, with security guards from home helping out. At least it's a steady grind. All right. She also had to tell the guards to bring the new big tent. So you like soloing dungeons, huh? Well, I'm going to solo your girl. Time to vent some frustration. For the next 2 days, except for eating and sleeping, I spent pretty much all my time farming dungeons. With 20 Gatling guns, and the overwhelming firepower of rotary machine guns protecting me, my solo dungeon grind efficiency was so fast even I was shocked. By nighttime, I'd already reached level 18, and unlocked the next, even harder dungeon, Deep Clear Canyon, on the 2nd day. Early in the morning, with so many people watching in shock and envy, everything I had collected from the dungeons before, all the materials and equipment, I took it all to the auction house to sell, and exchanged it for more than 10,000 gold coins. Then used all those gold coins on entrance tickets to Deep Clear Canyon. Don't underestimate the mere level 18 to 20 gap. As your level goes up, the experience needed to level up practically grows geometrically. The experience just for those 2 levels is dozens, or even 100 times more than the first levels. Like I never got tired. Under the ticket seller's numb gaze, I teleported into Deep Clear Canyon again and again. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Tireless gunfire echoed from deep within the canyon. The blazing Goblin King of Deep Clear Canyon was once again blasted into a pulp. Ding! Congratulations on. He was once again blasted into a pulp. Ding! Congratulations. You have leveled up to level 20. Seeing the sudden level up notification, I was completely shaken. Absolute joy flashed in my eyes. Level 20 at last. I didn't even bother to check the loot. Instead, I immediately opened up my stats panel, then allocated 5 free potential points to spirit power. I instantly scrolled to the bottom of my panel and opened up the Talents tab. When I saw the new skills in the Talent Center, my surprised expression froze for a moment. These 2 skills, based on what he'd studied before. Any class unlocks 1 skill every 5 levels. That means under normal circumstances, at level 20 you should only unlock 1 extra skill. But I got 2. I hurriedly checked them out, curious. Skill: Rocket Launcher. Description: Summons a rocket launcher. Deals powerful attacks to enemies. Consumes 4 spirit power per minute. My eyes lit up. Nice. Finally a weapon with area damage. A big firepower weapon. Even though spirit power costs have doubled for the rocket launcher's attack power, it's definitely worth it. With this thing, combined with Gatling rotary machine guns, 1 for assault, 1 for sweeping, in small-scale battles, that's enough firepower to cover the whole field. With this kind of power, lower-level dungeons are a piece of cake. I'm basically invincible there. I took a deep breath and focused on the other extra skill. Achievement Reward Skill: Exoskeleton Armor. Skill description: Summon exoskeleton armor. Greatly increases user's strength, defense, and speed. Exoskeleton armor consumes 4 spirit power per minute. Once spirit power hits 0, the exoskeleton armor will automatically retract. After reading the first line, I froze. Achievement reward? What achievement? The textbooks never mentioned anything like this. Do professionals get this kind of thing? But right after that, I was just amazed by this skill's effect. I was completely blown away. Ordinary mechanics have 2 main disadvantages. First, they lack endurance. Second, their self-protection abilities are pretty weak when facing a sudden enemy attack or an opponent with unusual abilities. Especially when those abilities are tricky. Mechanics are easily caught off guard. But if I have exoskeleton armor, my own defenses can make up for some of these shortcomings. At the very least, I won't be so easily taken out by an enemy sneak attack. Besides that, the exoskeleton armor has another major benefit for me. It increases my running speed. After checking out these 2 new unlocked skills, I eagerly looked to the right side, at the original talent bar icon. Besides the infinite ammo at the very top, another icon had lit up below it. Mechanic exclusive talent phase 2, God's Eye View. Effect 1. Constructs a 360-degree holographic view in your mind, and this perspective can be freely zoomed in on any part at will. Second, the initial range of God's Eye View is centered on yourself with a 100-meter diameter. For every enemy you kill, God's Eye View expands by 1 meter. I was momentarily stunned. Then I snapped back to reality. A 360-degree holographic view with freely zoomable perspectives. And for every enemy killed, the God's Eye View keeps expanding.
Damn.
Isn't this basically a massive area hack? I couldn't help but gasp. How is this a talent? It's clearly a freaking aimbot for mechanics. I was already known for a long attack range. If I add God's Eye View on top of that, wouldn't I be unbeatable? In the later game, for high-level pros to level up, everyone has to kill hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of monsters. If you convert that to God's Eye View, by then, I'll be able to monitor everything within hundreds or even thousands of square kilometers and spot any tiny movement. Nothing escapes my sight. Enemies won't even have a chance to sneak up on me. Thinking about that, I was honestly stunned. Each talent is more overpowered than the last. I took a few deep breaths, forcefully pushed down the unrivaled excitement inside, trying to compose myself. He started thinking about something else. Tomorrow is the joint selection event for major colleges. Should he farm a few more times for assistant generals to expand the God's Eye View observation range a bit more? After a while, I shook my head slowly. Forget it, better not waste any more money for now. Currently, God's Eye View has a 100-meter diameter range. According to previous college selection events, besides him, the other players' levels are probably at most about level 15. At this low level, a 100-meter warning range is already very solid. Once I'd figured it all out, I stopped wasting time and immediately started looting the battlefield. One of the mobs even dropped a purple item. I picked it up in surprise and saw it was leather armor perfectly suited for him. Without hesitation, I swapped out my junk green gear. Once I'd made sure I'd picked up all the gear and materials, I left the dungeon and quickly headed toward the nearby auction house. He sold off everything he'd farmed during this period, liquidating it all, and got over 10,000 gold coins in return. Then, under the auctioneer's surprised gaze, I swept up several pieces of purple gear in a row. My gear was totally upgraded. All that green and blue junk had turned into majestic purple. He opened up the stats panel again, looked at his mana value, and finally nodded in satisfaction. 630 mana points. Enough for him to summon 10 Gatling miniguns and 10 rocket launchers and go full firepower for 10 minutes straight. I'm sure, with his firepower right now, let alone God-class jobs, even if all the newly awakened players this year teamed up, they wouldn't be a match for him. Hey, student, don't you want a weapon? The auctioneer saw I'd bought a full set of purple gear, except, for some reason, not the most important thing for any class. A weapon. She kindly reminded me. A purple grade weapon was just listed this morning. An AK-47 with built-in fire enchantment, so you can add fire damage to any skill. With steady attack output, and it's not likely to jam. Wanna check it out? I froze for a moment, suddenly remembering I still needed a weapon. I have so many super weapons of my own that I actually forgot. For most classes, the weapon is the most important item. Usually, mechanics are best suited for all kinds of firearms. The only downside is, if you use a weapon not meant for your class, mana consumption doubles from the original amount. When using another class's weapon, mana cost becomes more than double the normal amount, and the weapon's durability drops super fast too. Wait, suddenly I had an idea. A thought came to me. For a weapon to function, it needs to be activated by the player, with the weapon as the medium for casting skills. But if I just equip a weapon and don't use it, it's basically a stat boosting accessory. It would only give basic stats and have no other effect. For ordinary players, this would have a huge impact. Take mages, for example. A top-tier staff not only reduces mana consumption when casting spells, increases magic damage, and speeds up casting time, but also boosts spell power. But for me, the weapon's bonus effects seem totally unimportant, because every attack I use comes from abilities that summon super weapons. So I don't need weapon effects at all. In other words, I actually don't have to use a weapon meant for my class. Even if I use another class's weapon, it wouldn't affect me much. For him, there's only one thing that really matters: mana value. If he can get a weapon with a high mana stat, even if he just equips it without using it, it will still give me tons of mana. At this thought, I immediately asked the auctioneer if there were any top-tier staves. Auctioneer, aren't you a mechanic? Why do you want a staff instead of a gun? What on earth are you doing? We do have one, but seriously, dude, staffs aren't really for your class. Are you sure you want to see some staffs? The auctioneer kindly reminded me again. I nodded decisively. Yes, I want a staff. Well, alright then. The auctioneer had no choice but to open up the staff search window for me. Wow, there's even a legendary pink grade staff, and it's exactly level 20. When I saw that beautiful pink color in the search results, my eyes instantly lit up. Sluggish Goblin Staff, plus 150 mana. Price, 2,000 gold coins. Damn, that's so cheap. When I saw that price, I couldn't help blurting it out. Normally, a legendary grade pink weapon costs at least 4,000 or 5,000 gold coins. 2,000 is just a steal. Weapon effect, doubles magic damage. Skill cooldown increased by 50%. Casting time increased by 50%. Casting time increased by 50. Note: can't have both the fish and the bear's paw. 50 plus 50 equals 1. This is a fair deal. But right after that, when I saw the weapon effect of this staff, the corner of my mouth twitched a bit. Damn, what kind of stupid effect is this? Fair my ass. Doubling the power is nice, but skill cooldown increases by 50. A mage's sustain wasn't that good in the first place. You add another 50 to skill cooldown. What the hell can you even play? Mages are already easily interrupted while casting, causing casting failures. Now you add 50 more seconds to cast time. Isn't that just giving the enemy an opportunity? No wonder nobody wants this thing, even at such a low price. The negative effects are way too severe. Sheesh, no surprise, it's just a pink item. And it's still the staff with the strongest spirit amplification. For mages, it's basically useless. But for me, this is definitely a true artifact. With this staff, my spirit points can instantly soar past 800. With such a high spirit stat, setting aside natural spirit regeneration, it's already enough to summon 20 Gatlings, rotary machine guns, and 10 rocket launchers, all guns blazing for 10 minutes. As for the negative effects from using the artifact, for me that's not an issue at all, because I never intended to actually use it. I'm just treating it purely as an item to boost base stats. Once I equip this staff, he immediately locks it in place, uses it as a hiking stick, doesn't affect his mechanic skills at all. It's almost like this thing was custom made for me. I made a grand gesture. 2,000 gold coins came pouring out. After the deal was done, I didn't hesitate to equip it on myself, and locked spirit points at 805. With an excited look, I turned and walked away. Fully geared up, everything is ready to go. Really looking forward to tomorrow's college selection. Just as I finished the transaction, Wild Tree Garden, outskirts of Tianjin City, capital of the East Dragon Empire. A luxurious villa covering 500 square meters, nestled in the area. Spacious courtyards in front and back. Decor is grand and impressive. On the third floor of the villa, there's a pink-themed bedroom. In the huge washroom, the sound of running water gradually stopped. A moment later, a tall, slender girl opened the frosted glass door. Walked out from the washroom. She was wrapped in a thick, soft towel. But even so, it couldn't hide her impressive chest or her round hips. Most of her long legs were covered, but the exposed calf was still glaringly fair. A ding notification sounded from her phone. She glanced at her phone. A look of surprise appeared on her face. The goblin stuff I put up in the auction house actually got sold. Her lively eyes were filled with curiosity. She gently shook her head. Interesting. I wonder which newbie mage actually dared to mess with this thing. With that, the girl casually tossed her phone back on the bed, got ready to dry her hair first. Just then, a deep male voice came from outside. You, tomorrow. We're going to Four Symbols City for the selection tournament. Have you packed your bags yet? The girl's voice was crisp as she replied, I'm all set. Dad, you're representing our academy as a student. Make sure you show some spirit when it counts. Don't embarrass Dad. The girl giggled. Don't worry, Dad. I'm a level 29 element controller. The most outstanding genius girl at Xingyu Academy in 100 years. How could I possibly embarrass you? You little rascal. The deep male voice sounded a bit helpless, but didn't refute her bragging. Early the next morning, sunlight flooded Four Symbols City. As a key fortress of the East Dragon Empire, they were holding the annual college selection tournament. New professionals from 10 satellite cities gathered at Four Symbols Plaza. My Green Mountain Academy also took a spot led by our teacher, occupied a section. On one side of the plaza, on a high platform, the admissions officers from each college were already in position. The two tables at the center stood out. At the table on the left, sat a square-faced, stern yet gentle middle-aged man, Zhang Zhouan. Standing behind him was a tall girl. Her long legs stood out, with striking features, ponytail tied high, confident and bold. Ponytail tied high, confident and bold. At the table on the right was the strict-looking middle-aged woman, Yan Miao. She also had a girl standing behind her. Quick-witted features, slim build, long spear slung on her back, looking proud and aloof. These two are the admissions teachers from the two top academies of East Dragon Empire, Xingyu Academy and Peking Academy. The host stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Master Jiang, Master Yan, all participating students have arrived. Please oversee the proceedings. Yan Miao gave a slight nod, looked at Zhang Zhouan. Everyone's here, let's start. Zhang Zhouan smiled. Last year was hosted by Xingyu. This year it's Yan Miao's turn. The college selection alternates between the two schools anyway. This year it's Peking's turn. Yan Miao got up and walked to the front of the stage, swept her gaze across the crowd. Her voice was cold and clear. I'm Yan Miao from Peking Academy. The college selection tournament officially begins. No extra formalities. She directly ordered the student representatives from each academy to step forward, 2 meters apart. Gather in the open area below. As soon as she finished speaking, school representatives walked out. Zhang Zhen looked at the girl behind him. You go too. The girl smiled in response and quickly joined the line once everyone was standing in place. Yan Miao raised her hand and gripped it. A staff glowing with golden light appeared out of thin air. The scene instantly erupted. Gold symbolizes epic level equipment. I was also surprised. No wonder she's a Peking instructor. Epic weapon right from the start. Epic gear only drops in major raids with very low probability. Plus, non-bound epic drops are super rare. Yan Miao chanted with her staff, gave a low shout. Illusion staff swung out. Brilliant golden light enveloped all student representatives. Golden phantoms separated from their bodies, expanding and stretching in the golden glow. Separated out, expanding and stretching in the golden glow. They turned into huge, semi-transparent mirrors. Faint, illusory figures appeared inside the mirrors.
Yan Miao's gaze sharpened.
She declared loudly. I hereby announce the tournament rules. The illusory figures in your mirrors are the top students from each academy last year. Their mirrors are projections of half their actual power, with all their abilities. Each person has 3 chances to enter the light mirror. Survive the projection attack for 3 minutes, and you'll gain admission to the corresponding academy. Yan Niao paused. He continued, saying the number on each representative's chest. Is their current level? Different academies. Huge differences in strength. If you pick the wrong opponent and go beyond your ability, you're just wasting a chance. Fail all 3 times. And you're eliminated? You'll have to try again next year. The selection lasts until midnight. Not finishing within the time limit also counts as elimination. Let's begin. With that, he turned and took his seat. Jiang Zhen frowned slightly. This rule looks straightforward, but it's actually pretty tough for newcomers. You can see the level, but you can't always judge their real fighting strength. Yan Miao said indifferently, so I gave each of you 3 chances. Start with a conservative choice. Make sure you aren't eliminated. Then go for a better academy. If you can't even make these basic judgments, you don't deserve to enter a top academy. His tone suddenly turned stern. World scenarios cost heavy casualties. Foreign powers are eyeing us. And we don't need hot-headed geniuses. We need smart and courageous elites. If you can't even make basic choices, you'll just end up as cannon fodder. Peking University doesn't accept these kinds of losers. Jiang Zhang sighed softly and said no more. The plaza instantly erupted in chaos. These rules are way too brutal. Those representatives have a year's more experience. Even at half power, they're tough to beat. Lowest is level 24 at baseline. How is anyone supposed to win? I stepped up to the light mirror in the crowd, my gaze falling on the 2 people in the center. Jiang Weiyu, level 29. Elemental Controller. Yan Lan, level 29. Battle Mage. Both are Phantom God class. Their levels are way higher than the other academy reps. Xingyu and Peking are definitely different leagues. I'm deep in thought when a mocking voice rings out. Li Heotian, are you really still aiming for Xingyu or Peking? I turned to look, and it's Yuan Ting and Degu Yan. Yuan Ting sneered. Selection is all about real skill. You can cheese dungeons, sure, but try cheesing this. I said coldly. It's none of your business whether I can or not. Someone wanted to copy me a few days ago. But too bad she wasn't smart enough. Couldn't even get a foot in the door. Looking for trouble? Yuan Ting laughed in fury. I'll show you today what a real Phantom God class is. Your mechanic can't do anything but cheese dungeons. Chin up. He walked to Yan Nan's light mirror and loudly announced himself. Kingshan Academy's Yuan Ting, level 16 Night Stalker, challenging Peking University. Yan Nan glanced at Yuan Ting, a bit surprised. Level 16 Night Stalker. Purple energy flowed all over Yuan Ting, showing off his full purple gear. He nodded proudly. It's Yan Nan indeed. With a light smile, he said, not bad. Go on in immediately. Everyone was envious. Getting recognized by a Peking University rep is basically having 1 foot in a top school. Yuan Ting was overjoyed. Looking completely confident, he walked straight into the illusion. I just watched coldly from the side. Not at all in a rush. All you have to do is last 3 minutes in the trial. So there's plenty of time. With my strength, I don't need to rush at all. Quite a few star-level newcomers have started trying already. Most come out looking totally discouraged. And only a few barely make it through. Everybody has their eyes fixed on the Peking side, hoping to see if Yuan Ting can pass. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds now. Looks like he's going to make it. Night Stalkers really are impressive. Especially with those purples. They can really hold out. While people were talking, someone noticed me nearby. The mocking started pouring in. Isn't that the mechanic who cheeses? Dungeons with bugs? So what if he has full spirit power? Pick the most useless class when he awakened? He won't even be second-rate later on. Quick leveling, big deal. This is an illusion, not a dungeon. Let's see him try to cheese this. I stayed expressionless, not caring at all. A regular mechanic is short on ammo, uses up supplies, and is fragile. But he's different. Unlimited ammo, overhead view, summonable weapons. He's basically a walking fortress disguised as a mechanic. Forget same level phantom gods. He can overpower stronger enemies with firepower too. 3 minutes he passed. With a shout of surprise, the illusion flashed with light. A battered and exhausted Yuan Ting was teleported out. He looked disheveled, but even more arrogant. He kept flattering Yun Lan. Yun Lan chuckled, in 3 days to reach this as a Night Stalker. That's truly impressive. Go wait in the back. When the test's over, you'll return to Peking University with us. On the platform, Yun Miao's expression eased a bit. Jiang Zhen laughed. Congratulations, Teacher Yun. A great start. Yun Miao gave him a cold glance. Coming from a big family means better gear and stable talent, so naturally they're stronger than those from humble backgrounds. Jiang Zhen's brow furrowed slightly, and his tone got colder. Background isn't everything. How far you go in the end depends on your heart and mind. Yun Miao just sneered, staring straight at me in the crowd. Wisdom? Look at him. Seems like a phantom god on the surface, but actually not even second-rate. Back then, Marshall Li went against everyone's advice, throwing resources at that mechanic from nothing. How did that end? 10 years of effort, all wiped out by a minor ninja from a small country. Xinghu backed the wrong person. Marshall Li's lost his edge too. When Yun Miao brought up Marshall Li, Jiang Zhen's expression changed. Jiang Zhen's face instantly darkened. Marshall Li is a Xingyu graduate. He's the pride of the entire academy. But back then, after that mechanic was assassinated by a Sakura country hitman, Xingyu was constantly suppressed by Peking University, even though they'd already taken every possible measure to protect that mechanic, almost ensuring absolute safety. Who would have thought that Sakura country assassin somehow made it through all the layers of screening and made it to Tianjin City to carry out the assassination successfully? There were so many suspicious points about this incident, but there was no way to argue against them. Jiang Zhen was full of anger inside, but could only remain silent. Off stage, Yuan Ting fixed her messy hair and looked at me with an arrogant expression. See that? That's what a real phantom god profession is. Your trash mechanic from Kaba isn't even in the same league as me. In the confrontation instance after level 30, can you still use Kaba tricks to make your enemies freeze? Face it, you're just a fake phantom god from the sewers. People all around were watching for drama, waiting to see me embarrassed. I just found it hilarious. I walked slowly up to the Peking University illusion area. It's just a test you passed. And suddenly your tail is sticking up to the sky. You really think you're a level 100 boss now? Yun Lan's attention was on the pink staff behind him, full of disdain. A mechanic carrying a staff. Where do you get the confidence to talk like that? If it's a first-class profession, fine. But your vanity is off the charts, using weapons across professions. Do you not even have basic common sense? If you actually went into the confrontation instance, people like you are just dead weight waiting to get picked off. Lun Ting fanned the flames from the side. Don't get mad, Senior Yun. He's supposed to be the top student with maxed spirit power. Maybe that staff really has some hidden potential. I laughed silently to myself. You actually got it right. Yun Lan remained dismissive. So what if he has maxed spirit power? A mechanic is still trash. He wants to play dog-beating staff with a staff? You can't even last 30 seconds against my phantom hands. My gaze turned cold. 30 seconds, are you sure? I'm sure, Yun Lan sneered. I burst out laughing. Yun Lan sneered. I burst out laughing. I took off the staff and stepped into the illusion. What does a frog in a well know? This pink staff is more than enough to blast you apart. The whole room went into an uproar. Yun Lan's face flushed red with anger. Reckless fool. Just wait till you get beaten out of there. Let's see how hard you keep talking. But not far away, Zhang Huayu's expression changed slightly. He recognized it at a glance. That was the very same staff he sold yesterday. The sluggish goblin staff. A level 20 pink equipment. A mechanic awakened for only 3 days. Was already level 20. Others just assumed he randomly mismatched his gear. But he sensed that something wasn't right. He stared intently at the illusion field, feeling an inexplicable sense of anticipation inside. I entered the illusion realm and found myself in an arena. 50 meters away stood a perfect clone of Yun Lan, just with empty, emotionless eyes. A prompt popped up. 10 seconds to prepare. Countdown. 98. The countdown ticked down. I was totally calm. I summoned first. Exoskeleton armor covered my entire body. My defense and speed maxed out instantly. Next second, 20. Gatling guns and 10 rocket launchers appeared all at once. The black muzzles and barrels locked down every inch of space around Yunlan's Phantom. 3-2, battle begins. Da-da-da, 20 Gatling rotary machine guns fired at once. But the raging barrage didn't hit her. Instead, instantly sealed off a 10-meter radius around her. The remaining 10 rocket launchers focused their fire on Yunlan. A slight smirk appeared on my lips, muttering, "Battle mage. A weirdo among mages. Fast with extreme close-range combat skills. Attacks are sharp, but as long as I block all her evasion space and bombard with rocket launchers, even if her skills are top-notch, would she dare to dash through my firepower?" Sure enough, as Yunlan's Phantom just made a move, facing the overwhelming hail of bullets and rockets, she froze instantly. She stood there completely stunned. Really didn't know. Froze instantly. She stood there completely stunned, without the slightest idea how to react. Yun Miao's illusionary clones, made with refraction techniques, not only inherit 50% of the original's strength, but can also access 100% of her combat experience. But the problem is, even if Yunlan was the top of last year's students,
He'd never faced a cheat like me.
to meet this level of firepower at level 20, how the hell are you supposed to fight? Boom! Boom! A thunderous explosion shook the arena.
Bang!
In just the blink of an eye, Yunlan's Phantom was blasted into countless beams of light by the rockets. Gone without a trace. I grinned. So this is the so-called Phantom God? This profession is really nothing special. As her phantom faded out, a strong sensation of distortion swept over me, almost exactly the same as when I teleported in. A thought flashed through my mind, and I immediately canceled all skills. The Gatling guns and rocket launchers still hovering in midair, along with the exoskeleton armor on my body, instantly vanished, high up on the outdoor platform. Yun Miao's usually cold and haughty expression suddenly twisted. Her pupils contracted in a flash. Jiang Xian beside her noticed Yun Miao's change and turned to her in surprise. No idea what got into this arrogant woman again. Yun Miao suddenly stood up, strode forward a few steps, eyes glued to the spot in front of Yunlan, her face full of shock, because just now, she felt that one of the illusions she created had actually disappeared. And what's more, that phantom was her prized disciple, Yunlan. No, that's impossible. A mere mechanic. How could this happen? Yun Miao's eyes were filled with disbelief. She murmured, "There are only two reasons for an illusion to vanish. Either it was dismissed by me, or it was destroyed. But with Yunlan's power, even if the phantom only had half the strength of her real body, it's impossible for a mechanic who just changed classes 3 days ago to take it out." Because of the words I'd left before entering the illusionary field, chaos below continued to erupt. People. The chaos raged on. Everyone staring at the pale Yunlan, still gossiping loudly. That mechanic who dared to trash-talk Peking University's top student was suddenly, as a ray of light flashed my figure, reappeared before the crowd. When he showed up, Yuan Ting's eyes instantly lit up. He laughed wickedly. "You really are a useless mechanic. You didn't even last 20 seconds before getting knocked out." Li Heoshan still pretending. "Keep pretending. Let's see how long you can keep it up. So now tell me, who's the frog in the well? Weren't you going to use that broken legendary staff to smash Senior Yun's head in? You're just a stubborn piece of trash. You think you're worthy?" Ting seems desperate to draw the entire squares. Attention from everyone, right to herself. Her voice is so loud, she's basically screaming at the top of her lungs. The onlookers burst into laughter. All kinds of mocking voices quickly follow. This is killing me. From just now until now. He's only been in there for a little over 10 seconds, right? No wonder he's called 3 seconds. A real man fast as hell.
Hey.
Maybe he already bashed that Peking University hotshot's head in such a short amount of time. You could hear the sarcasm dripping from those voices. Jiang Weiyu, next to Yunlan, paused for a moment when she saw me appear. She looked slightly surprised as well. But when she took a closer look, the confusion on her face slowly turned into shock and disbelief because she noticed a detail. After I reappeared, I was exactly the same as before going in. If I was really blasted out by Yun Lan's illusion, there's no way my clothes would be completely unwrinkled, or my hair perfectly neat. Did he really bash Yun Nan's head in such a short amount of time? Not Yun Nan's illusion. Just as Jiang Huaiyu started to get this crazy idea in her head, and that unbelievable thought was rising up, the illusion in front of Yun Nan suddenly made a series of cracking sounds. Then, under everyone's stunned and confused gaze, there was a light pop, and it shattered and disappeared. Figures, a useless mechanist. I actually overestimated you. I didn't expect that even. You couldn't last 20 seconds. Over there, Yun Lan was still spitting out insults at me with a mocking face. But her words were cut short halfway. She stared blankly at the vanished illusion in front of her. A look of confusion flashed in her eyes. The illusion broke. What just happened? Why did the teacher suddenly remove my refracted illusion? Yun Lan instinctively turned back toward the platform. Then she immediately saw Yun Miao standing at the edge, staring over here with complete disbelief. What's wrong, teacher? Why does she look like that? Yun Lan had just asked herself that when her whole body suddenly went rigid. Then, following Yun Miao's gaze, she looked behind herself. Because she realized Yun Miao wasn't looking at her, but at me behind her. Yun Lan's eyes suddenly widened, her jaw dropping slightly, as she looked at me in shock. Her teacher's expression had already made it clear. The refracted illusion wasn't cancelled by the teacher, which means Yun Lan whipped her head around, her eyes fixed on me, but she couldn't get a complete sentence out. The mocking laughter around us gradually faded. Everyone looked at Yun Lan and Yao's stunned faces, and suddenly felt uneasy. An absurd thought popped into their minds. I spun the staff in my hand, my smile growing wider. Mission accomplished. Turns out my staff really can bash your head in. As soon as I finished speaking, the whole square erupted. The mechanist smashed the Peking University rep's illusion. How is that possible? Is that staff really that overpowered? Jiang Huaiyu's pupils shrank. She looked completely stunned. A mechanist with a staff. Isn't a joke at all? In fact, he dominated. Yun Lan, who was still glaring at me with an ugly expression, asked, A mere mechanist. Absolutely, can't beat my illusion. What trick did you use in there? The refracted illusion is a skill built into Yun Miao's light refracting staff. It's usually used by Yun Miao to train younger disciples. But even Yun Miao as the caster can't sense what's actually happening in the illusion. Inside at all. In other words, what happens in the illusion? No one else can see. The fight I just had in that illusion. Yun Miao and Yun Lan couldn't see it at all. So neither of them knows what technique I actually used to smash Yun Lan's illusion. Seeing Yun Lan still trying to keep up the act, I sneered. What? You can't handle a mechanist you look down on smashing your illusion. You can't take it? Does your assessment include a replay of the fight or something? Yun Lan's chest was heaving with anger. That's enough, Yun Lan. Yun Miao suddenly interrupted from the platform, looking at the staff in my hand. A flash of shock appeared in Yun Lan's eyes. After hearing I was a mechanist earlier, she actually didn't pay much attention to this new profession. She wasn't really focused, so she didn't notice that the legendary staff on my back was the level 20 sluggish goblin staff. This mechanist managed to reach level 20 within just 3 days of awakening his profession. How on earth did he do that? She also overheard the discussions below. Is it really just exploiting dungeon bugs? But the problem is, from level 10 to level 2, is not just a single dungeon. Could he have managed to glitch every dungeon? Yun Miao couldn't shake the feeling something was off. Your name's Li Heoshan, right? I don't know how you pulled this off, but since you defeated Nanner S illusion, you passed the assessment. Go stand behind number 2. Once the exam is over, we'll take you back to Peking University Academy. Yun Miao said in a low voice. I raised an eyebrow, glanced at Yun Miao, then looked at Yuan Ting, who was scowling with clenched teeth, and a strange smile crept onto my face. I don't recall ever saying I'd joined Peking University Academy. Yun Miao's expression changed, a sinking feeling suddenly rising in her heart. What do you mean? I let out a laugh. If I remember correctly, you just said the rules of the assessment were everyone gets 3 challenge attempts. But it was never specified that passing the illusion assessment means you have to join that academy, right? Yan Miao's face was full of disbelief. Getting into Peking University Academy is every new professional's dream. You mean you don't want that? I sneered. The East Dragon Empire's best universities aren't limited to just Peking University Academy. With that, I didn't even glance at Yunlan and turned to walk toward Jiang Huayu. Without even glancing at Yunlan, I turned and walked toward Jiang Wuyoyo, facing Jiang Wuyoyu's shocked and bewildered gaze. I smiled slightly. Newly promoted mechanic Li Heoshin. I wonder if I'm eligible to challenge Xingyu Academy. Of course you can. Jiang Wuyoyu. Finally, after all those unexpected events, she snapped out of it. She answers excitedly. A record-breaking full spirit power level. Clearly a mechanic, but carries a magic staff. And reached level 20 just 3 days after changing classes. I'm really mysterious. On the platform, Jiang Zhen finally realizes what's happening. He quickly stands and moves to the edge. His eyes burn as he looks at me. I give him a gentle nod. I throw a mocking glance at Yanlan and the original body, step forward and enter the illusion in front of Jiang Wuyoyu. Just like before. Inside, it's still that stadium-like space. Not far away stands Jiang Wuyoyu's phantom. The 10-second countdown prompt appears again. I use the same trick again. First, activate exoskeleton armor. Then summon 20 Gatling guns, rotating machine guns plus 10 rocket launchers, all densely arranged in front of me. As the countdown ends, the wild firepower erupts again. Jiang Wuyoyu, the element master, can't even finish her incantation in time before she's engulfed in a storm of bullets and rockets, blown into countless particles of light. That familiar twisted sensation returns. I cancel the skill. My figure disappears. Everything outside is silent. Now, no one dares mock me anymore. Everyone has their eyes wide open, glued to the illusion in front of Jiang Wuyoyu. Yan Nao's pupils slightly contract. Her body tenses again. Another dozen seconds pass. Jiang Wuyoyu's phantom is also destroyed. My figure reappears before everyone's eyes, still looking calm, no blush or heavy breathing, as if I were just out for a stroll. Even my clothes and hair remain perfectly neat. And the illusion in front of Jiang Wuyoyu starts making cracking noises again, then suddenly shatters explosively. Jiang Wuyoyu could already guess this result, but when his phantom is so easily destroyed by me, he still feels shocked inside. Yan Lan is a battle mage with strong melee power, but he himself is a powerful long-range element master. This Li Heoshin isn't afraid of long-range or close combat. Even if he's level 2-0, he's only been in this class for 3 days. How could he possibly build up enough super weapons to instantly defeat me? And Yang Lan's phantom? It's simply unbelievable. I smile, looking at Jiang Wuyoyu's slightly parted lips and her cute, dazed expression. I say, "Senior, should I?" Yoyo asks, "Senior, I should have passed the Xingyu Academy selection, right?" Before Jiang Wuyoyu has time to reply, Jiang Zhen on the platform excitedly shouts, "Of course! You've not only passed, you've gone above and beyond. It's an honor for Xingyu Academy to invite you to join us." As soon as Jiang Zhen finishes, the audience falls silent for a moment, then erupts in astonishment. He even defeated Xingyu's phantom instantly, and got an invitation directly from the teacher, a mechanic with a magic staff. Is it really this powerful? What's the secret behind it? Yan Lan's face is pale as iron, her fists clenched tight. Yuan Ting's eyes burn red, almost to bleeding. I act casually, destroying 2 academy phantoms in a row, compared to him struggling through all 3 minutes. It's basically public humiliation. On the platform, Yan Miao is furious. I'm clearly disrespecting Peking University. He sternly stops everyone. The whole venue goes silent. If anyone makes noise again, their qualification will be cancelled. Gold light rises again. 2 new illusions form. Selection continues. Jiang Wuyoyu moves next to me. Curious, she asks how I managed to beat her and Yunnan. I wink and smile. I'm a mechanic. Of course, it's all about my super weapons. If you don't want to say, then forget it. You're really not honest, he pouts. He doesn't believe it at all. A rookie with only 3 days can take out a level 29 phantom with regular weapons. I shrug helplessly. He didn't lie. Just the number of weapons is kind of outrageous. The sky gets darker. Midnight approaches. The hesitant new recruits grit their teeth and step up. Some are happy, some cry. Du Gan sits with the Tianguang Academy team. His gaze full of resentment as he stares at me. He barely passed Tianguang Academy relying on a priest's shield, but failed at both Peking University and Xingyu. Now he's stuck at a second-rate academy. The more he thinks about it, the more hateful it feels. If he hadn't broken up with me back then, and teamed up with me in dungeons, he'd be at least level 17 or 18, fully geared in purple. Mingsha from the prestigious university stuck around Yuan Ting just for a few pieces of purple gear, but ended up with nothing. Li Haoshan, you ruined me. Damn you, the midnight bell is near. You ruined me. Damn you, the midnight bell is near. Yan Miao stands up and waves his staff. All illusions instantly disperse. The examinees in the arena are forcibly ejected. Time's up. This round of selections is over. Those who didn't pass, try again next year. Crying breaks out everywhere. Not getting into university means a year of self-study and a huge gap from peers. Yan Miao coldly looks at the failures, then turns to the Peking University team and says, Peking University, follow me. They answer in unison, faces full of pride. Only Yuan Ting's handsome gaze is fixed onto the Xingyu side. Jiang Zhen looks at the grassroots team behind him, but sees burning hope in their eyes. Smiling warmly, he congratulates them. From today, you officially start your career path. Xingyu is known as the school for the underprivileged. Peking University is a private school for nobles. Just one character difference. But the path is completely different. Standing at the very front of the team, relaxed, I have already destined to walk a road that nobody could have imagined. Late at night, 4-quadrant city, Lianhua Villa. The villa hall glitters with gold. Ting sits on the sofa with a dark expression. Across from her is her father, with slick back hair and a sharp suit. The middle-aged man slowly speaks, holding a thick cigar. You're saying Li Haoshan is hiding something? Definitely. Yuan Ting nods firmly. I faced off with Yun Nan's phantom. Even if he had only half his power left, there's no way a 3-day rookie could beat him instantly. Yun Nan is a level 29 battle mage, a god-tier class. He trained at Peking University for a year, yet couldn't last 20 seconds against that guy. That just doesn't make sense. So you're saying he could even crush Yun Nan's real body? Absolutely impossible. So he's definitely got some secret. Yuan Ting's eyes turn fierce. He can solo dungeons and abuse bugs to level up crazy fast. It must have something to do with that secret. If we could get it, our family's resources would skyrocket. We'd dominate high-level dungeons as well. Father paused in thought. But now he's affiliated with Xingyu. Messing with him is too risky. I know about Yuan Ting's gesture. I know Yuan Ting made a throat-slitting gesture. I stared at him. Find a moment when nobody's around. Just take him out directly, without anyone knowing. Before the words were finished, a blinding red beam suddenly broke through the window, lighting up the entire hall. The two immediately stood up and rushed outside. Horrified, they looked towards the outskirts. A sky-piercing red pillar of light stood tall between heaven and earth.
Its presence was intimidating.
At this moment, a random abyss dungeon appeared. At the same time, I had just packed up and was about to rest. Also attracted by the red light outside the window, he stared at the 3 horizontal lines on the fuse within the pillar, muttered quietly. Level cap is 30. Knowledge about the abyss instantly flooded my mind. Random abyss rewards are second only to team and world dungeons. The red pillar is the entrance. The number of bars represents the entry level. The monsters inside drop rare items much more easily than normal dungeons. Epic gear. Pink gear is the only way to get legendary orange items. Mythic gold items can only be obtained in level 50 team dungeons. For DJ class players, orange gear is the limit. My phone kept vibrating nonstop. Everyone in the freshman group was pinged. A random abyss dungeon has appeared in Four Symbols City. All teleportation arrays within 100 miles are sealed off. Tomorrow's return trip is cancelled. We'll go back to Tianjin after the abyss is cleared. I'm not surprised. Whenever a random abyss appears, all same level and below classes within 100 miles can only enter. No forced lockdowns. Ordinary people aren't affected. This time the limit is level 30, meaning all those above level 30 can't interfere. Next, a shrill alarm echoed through Four Symbols City. The city lord's commanding voice spread across the city. This abyss dungeon is capped at level 30. Classes below level 30 may enter on their own. Clearance time is 3 days. Good luck to everyone. I gazed at the scarlet pillar of light. The corners of my mouth slowly curled up. Super high drop rate of completed gear for those level 30 and below. This isn't a dungeon at all. It's clearly a tailor-made supply station for him.